Hi everyone, this is me, obviously. I'm here to do, really mostly take a look at this Phomemo thermal printer, but I've had a couple people that saw me using these and plan with me ask me, sort of the differences between the two or kind of to compare them a little bit. So I'm mostly so that's what I'll do is I'll try to kind of show them both. This page here, my last of my 2022 spread, does kind of show both of them. This right here is a picture of my son on the Canon Ivy printer paper, sticker paper. This is basically like a photo paper. It's that same sort of feel of a photo paper, but it is sticky on the back. And it uses this zinc paper, which is paper where the ink comes out onto the paper itself, right? So similar to like a modern version of a Polaroid, right? It's blank paper that when it goes through whatever process it does, it brings the ink out of the paper. So there's no ink in this cartridge. It's just this zinc paper. And I really like this. There is a newer one on the market that just came out that's supposed to be less dark and just have even better pictures to it. This still works fine, so I was like resisting the urge to do that because it's about $100 and this is still working fine. So I convinced myself to not jump on that bandwagon until this one dies out on me. But this is the Canon Ivy, and again, it prints it like you're getting a photo. I just cut it. It prints it in sort of color and in the weight and the consistency of like a photo paper. They come in papered like this, and I'll keep one out to compare. So it comes in this kind of paper here, and you can also get it in circled dots. Not my big fan. I had some of that, but it's not a big fan. I prefer this. I'll often do like 2 on 1 and then just cut it in half and get 2 pictures out of that piece of paper. Or for my weeklies, I'll print it and then cut it so that it fits into the weeklies like that. So that is the Canon Ivy, just looking at it on the page. We'll come back and look at this in a second. Then on this page, obviously, you see regular stickers here, but there are these black and white stickers, this right here, this right here, this right here, this right here, and here. These are from the Phomemo. And in terms of photos, I should do I'll print something out in a minute and show it. There you can see a photograph of a deer there that I've put on. There we go. So this is printed on the Phomemo. It's black and white. This is a Phomemo Pro, M02 Pro, and it really prints the black and white, and it prints text much, much better. So obviously this is hard to see, but this is the color photo paper. This is semi-transparent. It's almost a matte. I tried the different papers, and for what I need it for, I prefer the semi-transparent. Now I opened it back up, even though I sealed it. The 3 that I tried, I got a sample at first when I bought it. And one is the transparent, which is very hard to show, but it is very glossy, and it's not much writes on it and stays on it. The Tombow markers do stay on it if you let them dry for a while, but other than that, it's hard to write on it. The Sharpie marker works really good. I have a little roll of this. I'll keep that for like my jars, like herb jars, spice jars, tops of my, like I label like salts and tinctures that I make. That's what I'll use that for, and just type on what I want it to be there. So I'll use that, but I don't really like it for this. This is the semi transparent, which I love. And then this is the white, which is actually not bad. You can't tell right now, and I should just zoom in rather than picking it up, but you can lightly see the grid through it. So it makes a nice, if you need it to cover up more, so that you're not like seeing all the numbers or something through it, this is a good alternative, and a lot of different things right on it. This is just me was testing like 1, 2, 3 swipe, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 swipe, just trying to get an idea. My Coletto, I love these multi-pen high-tech Colettos with the gel ink. I use the 0.38 gel ink refills. They dry almost instantaneous on it, so that is fantastic. And then this is just, again, the white. I do actually like the white in terms of, I don't generally like, I generally like the semi-transparent on my planners, but if I did want it to cover up, so for example, sorry, I'm trying, I have taken some of the things that I had covering up what I didn't want to show, so I'm just trying to, let me pull it back here for a second. I'm trying to not put things on there that I don't. Okay, for example, this was on sticker paper that you can print like 8.5 by 11, the Mako. I do kind of like this because it covers up the numbers for my tracking versus, this is my 2023. I've set up the first Monday somewhere back here. So this is a transparent, so of course I kind of felt like I had to shove it over because of this time here. So I might want to print those up, and then you can see some of the text down here at the bottom. So I may, well, I'm going to play this with this obviously the first week, but I may want to do this on the white paper so that I can just stick it all the way to the edge and it will kind of cover up any of those dates. The other thing you can do is just use your, I've done this before, just use your whiteout tape to white out that, and then when you put it over the top of it, you barely see it. So that's another option if I don't want to change out the paper, because I do like seeing the grid through it. This is also that semi-transparent with it printed out and the text printed on it. This is semi-transparent, that semi-transparent. These little weather stickers are semi-transparent over here. So that's where I landed. I got a sample pack to try and then to see where I was going to land with it. Let me put this back the way it belongs here. And yeah, these are all because I moved into the other, so I just closed that up and stuck that closed. Okay, so again, Canon Ivy photo paper, that sticker is very thick. The semi-transparent is thinner, so it's much more flexible. I mean, it's still, you know, you can still tell that it's there, but it is certainly more flexible and less thick than the Ivy paper is, which again, I'll show you a comparison of the paper. But you know, for me, I've had this for a long time. I use it for a lot of different purposes. So, you know, this doesn't necessarily get rid of it, but I can see myself using the Phomemo more for the things that I want. These are also, let me put that over here. These are just some black and whites, and I'll print out like a photo just to show better. But these are just little black and white icons. That's just right on the Phomemo app. All of these are on the semi-transparent paper. They print it just prints really crisp and beautiful, and then I just cut it off and stick it on there, and it prints really nicely, and then has a nice, I don't want to pull this all the way off because obviously I'm not ready to use it, but you can see that it is semi-transparent. I will say once it's down on the paper, it really seems pretty transparent and it's nice and matte. So that's what I've decided. I tested them, and then I decided that's the paper that I was going for, and so then I ordered a box of 3-pack of just the semi-transparent paper because that's what I'll be using. They are 2.5 meters by 50 millimeters by 2.5 meters long, the rolls are. So here is, it came with a white roll, the sample, but you can see it's just a little bit, and there are slight little borders on here, but it's just a hair wider. And I truthfully, once you take off the border, here, let's see, there's a hair of a border on either side, and once you take that off, I would say that it's almost exactly the same width. Literally maybe a hair once you take that border off that allows you to get the sticker off easy. It is almost the exact same width. The benefit of it being on a roll is it can be as long as you want or need it to be. So that's that. So for example, of course, you know, I've got things all over the place. Let me close this one up. This is a sheet, let me zoom back out, or out. This is a sheet of weather things, and I could just keep going as long as I was at my 2 inches. I could obviously keep going for as long as I needed that to be. I also printed out for some things that I needed for doing my Wheel of the Year sticker spread. Of course, do I? No, I hope I didn't throw that out because I typed all that up somewhere. These are on Mako 8.5 by 11, which I love, this Mako transparent sticker paper. But again, most of the time I don't need or want to put out a full 8.5 by 11 and waste the sheet of paper. So for little things that I just want quick things and quick quotes, I just don't end up printing them because I don't want to waste a whole sheet of sticker paper. So that's kind of the space that this will take the place of. In terms of lastability, it depends on the paper. The white thermal paper is good for 2 years. Again, if it's not in sunlight, I'm assuming it's going to last longer. The semi-transparent is considered long-term paper, so is the most long-term. I've seen some that are 20 years, and I think the transparent is also long-term. But the white is showing that it might fade away or the color go away after 2 years, and certainly if it's just out in the open. My journal or my planner's mostly kept closed after the week is up, so I'm assuming it would probably last longer than the 2 years. I'm not, you know, it's not archival or anything like that, but I don't expect my plant stickers to be. Okay, so in terms of use, let me grab this one, and this is tricky sometimes doing phone, showing phone things, but they each have an app to them. So this is the, oops, let me turn the light way down. This is the Canon Ivy. We'll turn it on. Hopefully I have a charge. I should check that. So here is a Canon Ivy app. You can do collages, you can do the pre-cut stickers, you can do labels, you can do layouts. I mostly am just either doing the photo album. You have to, the other thing I don't really love about this is you always have to select more photos to be able to actually use it, which I sometimes find to be a little bit annoying. So for example, I'm going to take this picture of my Christmas tree, and then I always have to go back out and come back in to see it. So then there is my Christmas tree. You can put frames in, put text in. There are filters that you can do. I do think it helps to lighten it up a little bit so that it doesn't get too dark on here. So that does help, but you can play around with that. And then when you're ready, you're going to hit print. And I know it's going yellow because it's the white balance is coping with my white screen, but I just want to show you this. I'll fix that once it prints out so you can try to see the color a little bit better. It's pretty quiet. You can hear it. I don't want to pick it up to put it closer to the mic, but you can hear it, but it is relatively quiet. So then let's go back. Let me see. Well, it's not going to photo balance right because of that, so I'll try to show it again. Again, you can see this is actually in person quite a bit darker than even what I see on the screen. So I do recommend that you lighten up your photo unless you want sort of a really dark and moody picture, because it does tend to print dark, but it has the ability to change it right there in the app. And now it's going to take a bit for that to stop, although this may even, let me do something. Okay, I was trying to show that, but I turned it back on and then it printed while I got interrupted with the call. But here you can see I have little Gus and I have my little stitch, and then I just cut those in half. And again, it just is a way, I like this size mostly, and B, it just lets me utilize the paper for two different images there. So that is the Canon Ivy. What it's great for is color pictures, right? That's kind of its jam. I've had this for a long time. I use it again in my planner. I do it to print out readings if I want to print out a reading. I also use it in my, I have a little book that, like, if I do salts and tinctures and talismans or knotwork or something, I'll take a picture of it, stick it in there, and then sort of write, you know, what the ingredients are or things like that. So those are kind of the main two ways that I use the Canon Ivy. I really like the size of this even more than the other, because this is generally what I'm taking with me. It slides in there. I just stick the little cord in there and it's good to go. I wonder if they use the same cord. That's a good question. I don't know the answer of. I don't think so. Nope. So I use a different cord. But I just put that in there with all my stuff, and it's really convenient. Now, I will say if I don't need them both, this goes in here fine as well. It just fills it up obviously a lot more, and I could slide this in this pocket, or just put it on top, and then I would be able to zip it closed, but that would make it really hard to take all my other stuff that I take. So I don't know if this is one I would pop in, or I think they may have a little case for this that I've seen. So this is definitely really portable. I've taken it on camping and then been able to do like a picture of day in my planner, and I really enjoyed that. So I do really love the size of this. So that's the Canon Ivy. Again, it's positives. What I use it for is the colored pictures, right? It lets you have colored pictures. What I don't love about it is the thickness of the paper, and it is glossy, but again, when I want to have the color, that's important there. But that's really all I use it is for color photographs, so to speak. So that's that. Let's put that away. Put this back where it belongs, or I will lose it. Let me grab the cord for this one. So similarly, the Phomemo, and this is again the Phomemo M02 Pro. I personally recommend that you do the work or spend a little extra money on the Pro, because it does make those black and white photographs much more beautifully printed. And I guess I'll do, let's try maybe this one, although that's pretty busy, or maybe we'll do Gus. and I'll print it on black and white as well. It's a similar concept, except for you have rolls of paper. Now this roll is almost out, and you do want to try not to get them unrolled too much, but this comes off and the roll just slips on. You can see this is almost done. I've been doing tons of testing with this one when I was trying to decide what paper to get. It just goes onto this. It sets down in here. You have the top of the paper, not the back side, but the top facing up, and then you just close it, and so it just kind of stays in there. Again, I've got 3 packs now of the semi-transparent paper because that's what I've decided I'm going to use. Both of these I picked up on Amazon. Has a cord, again, to just pop in and take with you. That is a different shape end than the other one. I can't tell you what it's called. So like the Canon Ivy, well, here's a nice example. I can just go ahead and reprint this so you can see it. I don't know where I have that yet. Oh, I stuck that in here. Here we go. So I've started a Wheel of the Year sort of to track all kinds of stuff regarding to the natural cycles. So here, okay, I know again that it's gone yellow with the white balance, but this is a reading that I did, and it's really quite beautiful. Yes, it's black and white, but look at how sharp it is. Like, this Pro really prints the black and white photos just gorgeously. This is the Mako paper I printed on my computer, and then again this would be an example of the Ivy being printed, printing a photo. So I won't reprint that. So let me go back here. Oops, Phomemo, let's go back. So similarly, this has got an app. There's a lot more things going on here. There's a great thing called graphics. This is where most of these were found. I did most of these from just, they have different, Japanese Christmas, summer, comics, festivals, basics, 2023 calendars, 2022 calendars, 2021 calendars, more things, a magic garden section, characters, word, and then under characters there are 5 different types. I haven't even gone through all of this. Sometimes the first time it loads, it does take a little while. Once you have it loaded, and I'm also uploading something right now, so that's not helping, but it's got word art, epidemic prevention, in case you want it. And then sometimes there are more things under it. So for example, under newest, we have Japanese cool summer postcard, ocean postcard here, cool summer. Under comic, there are stamps, food, tourism, palace. That's interesting. That's kind of like a vintagey look. Autumn and winter, small objects, Japanese style, insects, graduation plants, Phomemo, patterns, sushi, bath supplies. Like it's so in under each of them, like these are spring, Valentine's Day, cherry blossom, St. Patrick's Day, Easter, magic, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. And so again, underneath each one you have a lot of other things. So just kind of built into the app, there's quite a lot to be able to pull from. Ooh, is this one of these? That's one of those time management things. I've always wanted to play around with one of those. I have to look at that a little bit closer. Anyways, so yeah, there's a ton that's just kind of built into it. Then, of course, you can also print images. And again, same thing. You can do the collage where you can, what I like better about the Phomemo is it goes right into the your full photo roll once you allow it to. Like you have to allow it into your photo roll, and then it allows you to pick. And so, if I picked this, This is for the collage. Let's just say I picked 2. These would not be good. Then I can choose, you know, again, the different ways that you want to set it up to be able to print it, to make a collage. And you can have up to 6, I think. So I'm going to discard that. Yeah, it says 1 to 6 photos. Then you can just do the photo. So let's take that same Christmas tree. Do I want to lighten it? I do sometimes like to hit the filter and go ahead and do a black and white, because there are, you know, black and white can be more contrasty, can be lighter, but much darker with like a grid over it. Like you could play, that's like, I don't know why you would do that, but you can sort of pick maybe the ish black and white look that you are looking for, and then you can also go in and do adjustments. You can lighten it up a little bit, but still put the contrast in, you know, so you can play around with basic brightness and contrast here. So if I kind of liked that, but I want it to be a little bit lighter, I'm trying to kind of get the tones somewhat similar, even though it's I don't know this enough if I need to, you know, go lighter than I might want. And then you can resize it. One thing that I don't like about this is I do wish that it showed me what size I have pinched this box into being. It is not, or that the screen was actual size, which they couldn't do because obviously every screen is different on a phone. So, but I know that once I kind of get an idea of what size it needs to be, then I will, I'll get the idea of how much border I need to leave for my weekly ones, which are 1.25. But in this case, I'm just going to do its full. I do like to leave a little more of an edge than they tend to do, but just slightly. So that way it's kind of similar size. So then again, this paper has the ink on the paper. There's no ink in this machine. It is on the paper itself. It's a thermal printer in this case. Let me see if I can. There it goes, starting to go down, being so bright. I'll keep the screen off of it now. Well, no, I want to do it. I want to show you it real quick. So then again, you just hit print. Now it may have to connect to this. Oh yeah, I need to turn it on. Just press and hold, hit print. And because I haven't hooked up to it yet, I just have to tell it that I'm going to hook it. And then I'm going to hit, I'm guessing I'm probably going to want this lighter, but I haven't gotten used to it yet. It instantly starts printing. It's definitely faster, the type of ink it is, and it is instantly dry. Ooh, I'm at the end of the roll, and I will say I noticed this at the end of the roll doing this. And so that's something, I know that you're supposed to keep the roll. See how the end of the roll is kind of got fold points there. So I'm going to reprint that. I haven't had any issue with that until this very end of this roll. And that makes sense. I probably shouldn't even reprint it because I don't guess I really need this. You can see it's really curved because it is, again, it's going to kind of get stuck there at the end. And I can hear that. I'm going to go ahead and pull it out. I'm just going to leave that as it is. Again, I've used a lot of the white, and I've used some of this, a bunch of the transparent, and I've not had any issue with that until this end of the roll issue. This one, sometimes I have issue, but not as much. It just sometimes acts goofy or kind of goes halfway through, but I very rarely had any issue there. And again, I feel bad for this example because it did skip it right here, but I've not had any issue there making or having any issue with printing it up until the end. Again, black and white, but it is quite beautiful. I think this is a great example. I did another card reading too in my other book, which I'll try to find and zoom in on it. But it really prints quite beautiful. Let's see if it will zoom. It really prints quite well in the black and white. I quite love it. Let me see if I can find the other example. That is in here. Right here, this was of a reading, a card that my friend Patrick pulled for me. So it really does print very beautifully, although I think mostly what I'll be printing is going to be with readings like that. When I don't want to use this paper, or black and white is fine, so probably readings, as well as mostly the black and white. Now, this that you see, like this, the other thing that you can do, and I did, is if there are things that you want to be able to print and kind of repeat printing, you can, save those as images. So for example, there's also this section here called templates that has more things like to-do lists and frames. And then when you click into them, you can click into them and you can type things in and then be able to print it like that side thing that I showed you earlier. So they have frames, schedules, business cards. I don't know why you'd want a printable sticker business card, but there you go. You can. There's also a labeling thing. The document print is great. I need to find, I put in like my wheel of the year. Well, this is to upload from Word or text or PDF and print out a mini version of it. You can micro print, which I've used this quite a bit to, I copied and pasted my list of, oh here, you can, I know why I don't have it. It's because it's right here. Right here, I listed out my cards of the year and then just printed it straight out. You can adjust the size of the font, and I just printed that out so that I could have the list. And these, like, that was actually, that label was part of the Mako paper, but this was from the Phomemo, and this list here was for the Phomemo. And so, yeah, that works out really nice. That micro printing is actually really nice if you want to do a recipe, or you can just kind of copy and paste it in. You can also, I'll get to the print to the web in a minute. I like the scan. The scan is nice for, say, let's just say I wanted to print this image of this farmer's market. I can do the scan, right? And I can kind of choose how I want this to look. Like maybe I just want this sort of center part here. I can just scan that in and then hit my check. And then again, it turns it into a black and white image that I can just hit print on and print that off, which I'm not going to do because I don't really need this at the moment. But that's great for little bits of poetry, little quotes where you want the graphic as well as the text. There's early education, which are for like kids stuff, but I haven't played with that. And then there is a print web. And so this is where you can choose like Instagram, Google, any of these places, and be able to find images to print from the web. So I can go to here, which is mine, and I actually saved some things that were I'll show that in a minute, but like these are things that I made, these weather trackers, so that I can just kind of come back and find them. But I've saved a bunch of Phomemo things. I have them in groups of animals and things like that. Let me print this one out. So, I can either go in and save it down, or just hit print from here. Current page. I could make the text bigger or smaller, but I'm going to leave it alone and hit print. Current page. There we go. And then I can hit print and then just print it right from the web. Again, I need to change the paper out, so I should right now the paper's out. Okay. I will say it does use it right up to the end of the paper, but that last little bit does kind of have problems from being crinkled, and so you probably lose a little bit, although I did get picture that I could use that picture out of it, even though it messed up a little bit at the end. But certainly here and here, and there was a little bit before this that did get a little finicky because it was at the end of that tight roll. But to me, that's not too bad. So then I'll just show you how you fill a new one. You really want to try to keep these really tight as you can. It has the little thing to lift up. And you could save this like onto your box or something if you're going to want to put this back and switch to different kinds of paper. I don't anticipate my doing that too much, but here's the thing. You take the top off, you slide it onto the, oh, this already has the, oh, I see, because I left that in there. I'm like, wait a minute, there we go. Slide it on with this little pointy thing kind of facing down. This goes back on it. Like that, so that little piece comes out. It goes onto it like that. Again, you kind of want to keep it tight. Stick it in here and just kind of roll it so it's sticking out. And close it. And there you go. Now let's reprint this. So I'm going to go ahead and hit print again. Again, I kind of prefer, if I'm using it for my week section, I will save the image down and then print it because I can adjust the size. But for right now, obviously, we had a bit more extra to start. And again, if you save it down, you won't use so much white space. So that's a little bit better to do, and that's what I've mostly been doing. But still, look at how nice that prints. Oops, let's see if it will focus. Those are my, I did not, like I found that, I just Googled the crow, the wolf, and the bear. And oops, it wants to focus on that almanac. And there we go. It prints really beautifully. So you can do that through Pinterest. Again, I've just gone through and made a, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Cancel. I've mostly just made my own, again, Pinterest. Phomemo has their own board, but I just signed in with my own and, you know, just kind of saved different. In Phomemo, I have water, mountains, camping, animals, Christmas, books, cabin, flowers, planner. I think these are going to go into water there. But obviously I'll build up as I go, but there's just lots of cute pins to be able to pull from. Then what I've also done is, again, made my own. So for example, for my weekly weather tracking, I just took my own image and exported it out as an image so that I have this. Now I am not going to print it like this. Let me go back here. Oops, I keep doing that wrong. Cancel, there we go. And then go back. I would go to print images. I need to actually make a folder. I don't have a bunch of folders in my photo reel. Let me slide it up so I don't show anything. But I have saved images here, and I just need to put them in a folder because I will use these once a week. And then, like, if I want this energy tracker, or if I want, I had purchased these icons from a Etsy sticker shop, and so that I just put them all in a row like this, and then I can just print them black and white to when I need more weather stickers. Instead of doing a whole sheet, 8.5 by 11, I can just kind of print them as I need them, which is really useful. I don't know why it keeps coming out, but that's okay. I have, again, this is my weekly weather tracker. I would just probably shrink this down a little bit because I want it to all be on the page, because there is a bit of a lip. So I kind of set it like that, and then if I need one, I can just hit print, and it just instantly prints one out. I wish there wasn't, and I haven't gone in and read about it, like if there's a way. I'm not ripping it, so I probably would lose less if I hold it down. There are teeth to rip it up, but I just end up cutting it anyway, so generally I'm cutting it. Obviously that's probably going to make it so I don't have as much wasted. There is a good chunk of waste of the sticker between on the rolls that would be nice, but it's far less than I waste when I'm using my whole 8.5 by 11 sticker paper. And this is ready to go into my weekly spread, which you saw right here. I've already put one down for the first week of January. Do I have a paper there? So the first Monday, I'm putting these in on a Monday. So this is that same on that semi-transparent, and then I'll just tab this to all week long. I'll track my weather there, and this is for energy throughout the day. So yeah, so I again can just save images that I want, that I know that I will be, you know, making, wanting to print out as I go. So that is the Phomemo M02 Pro, and then this again was the Canon Ivy. There is a newer version of this. This one, when I bought this, I want to say it was like $120 or something like that. I've had this for years. So the new version I think is 100 something. I haven't looked, to be honest, other than I saw it was, you know, relatively the same. But I think when I got it, it was like $120. I'm sure I got it on sale because I generally do that. This one, I don't know what I got it for $53. Because there was a $15, it was like a sale, and then it had like a $15 off coupon. I think they do those quite regularly. I'm not sure, but I know this, I just got this last week and they had it, and other people have gotten it for that same price. So again, there is a lower model than this, but if you're going to do any kind of like picture printing, like with your readings and things, I would really recommend the Pro. It has 300 DPI. The other one I believe is 220 DPI. You wouldn't think that was a lot, but on the black and whites like these, I don't think it makes much difference at all. But when you go into the photos, that's where I think you can actually really see a difference. And so it's not that much more to go to the Pro, and so that's my opinion, is just go with the Pro. So that is the two of them. I think both of them are easy to work. My wishes are that this just went into your photos easily, because that's kind of a pain in the butt. There's a little hiccup there. And on this one, I do wish that when you pinched it and shrunk it, you could actually see the measurements, because a lot of it I'm trying to get down to the 1.25. So there's little things you've got to just mess with on them, but neither of them are things that would stop me. Obviously, I've been using this for a long time. Neither of those things would stop me from using them. So I hope that this has helped. That's the paper for that. That's the paper for that. These you can get, I pick up paper all the time at Best Buy locally. These you would have to purchase obviously on Amazon or wherever. I've got these on Amazon. In order to, like, if you need paper, I can run down and grab some, and you can get a big box of it, or you can get like 2 packs, or I've gotten like a pack of 50, which is I think five of these 10 packs. I've gotten them that way in the past as well. So there you go. I hope this helps you to decide, you know, if you're looking for a little mini printer for planning or journaling. I hope this helps you decide which one might work best for you.